Let's do this. Another day of Google Ads. What were we doing yesterday? What did we learn? I think we completed a lesson on keyword strategy. We would have started an article or lesson on new opportunities with broad match. We would have learned that back in the day, a couple years ago, say 5 years ago, three plus years ago in general, broad match wasn't great. It really was only trained on and only took inputs from keywords. But about 2 years ago, they made some major updates to the machine learning and to the inputs for broad match, such as taking into account things like user inputs, time of day inputs, device inputs, in order to optimize for conversions and also improve broad match performance for conversions. But also, the machine learning has been better and better and better at being able to understand intent behind queries, as well as what to serve up based on your ad, what headlines to show, what assets to show, what landing page to show. Cool. So it's gotten a lot better. They really recommend broad match now. Google really does. We're really pushing for that. I'm not exactly sure where we would have ended yesterday. What would have been 2 days ago. Recommendations, that would have been 2 days ago. What the? Did I not take notes yesterday? Did I get a new piece of paper? What the? Oh, here it is. Broad match has come a long way, continues to improve, so it's better ever than interpreting queries. It's better than ever at serving up, or I haven't even seen this yet. This is something I remember. Gosh, dang it. Oh, right. Broad match now is better than ever at actually identifying emerging trends and new keywords, hot keywords. So it's always evolving, broad match. It's a way to stay on top of evolution of changing consumer behavior and ecosystem environment. Cool. We also finished up this section about the first article about ad keyword strategy. So they gave some keyword best practices. Think like your audience. Group similar keywords into a cohesive ad group with specific headlines and landing pages. What else would they have for the keywords? Best strategies. Use broad match maybe with more hands off, giving more reins to the AI, letting the AI learn over time. Let's check what we forgot. Cool. All right. Yes. Conversion signals, location signals, time of day, and others. Cool. Right, there was this thing about optimization score recommendations. Think like your audience, organize keywords and ad groups by theme. 2 for 2. Look at the search terms report. Maybe we just did that today. My partner and I, we updated our Google Ads. Maybe what he was looking at was the search terms report. Maybe that is Google giving recommendations for new keywords. Use negative keywords. Okay. All right. That is the recall for the day. Now we're going to go and consume new information and continue. And I'll be back to recall the new information. All right, guys, I just read through about half of the expand or reach new opportunities, unlock new opportunities with broad match article. There's a lot in there, and it's very relevant to what we actually just some updates we made to our Google campaign today. So, first off, they kind of just talk about smart bidding. If you're going to use broad match, you want to use smart bidding. That's how they really work well together. What is smart bidding? It's actually a question I've written down. At this current time, I think smart bidding they're referring to basically targeting a target CPA and a target ROAS. I think that may be what smart bidding is. And also, yeah, that's conversion value based bidding. I think that might be synonymous. All right. Really gave some examples: broad match versus phrase match versus exact match. Broad match uses all available signals, whereas phrase and exact match use limited signals. What are signals? We're talking about user demographic data, time data, location data, query intent, like all the available signals they can use, the AI machine learning they can use to match query with auction, correct ad. Broad match will use, so it gives more power to the AI. I think I've said that enough times now. I wrote down some other questions. Why does target CPA and ROAS exist? I still don't understand this. I'll need to read more about this, learn more about this. Why does it exist? Why the fuck doesn't Google just do better? Like, oh, we actually want cheaper leads, instead of just being like, why do I need to tell Google, hey, get a 35 CPA, please, instead of just being like, hey, do your best. I don't need to tell you some arbitrary number, just do good. It's kind of annoying, but we started reading a little bit about it. It kind of makes sense where like they can optimize better, time of day, value based. You can kind of go minimize spend on certain days, maximize spend when value's there, etc. It's kind of annoying, but all right. And then I read about 2 ways to implement broad match, and we actually implemented one today. This is why I was kind of hesitant about making Google changes right now while I'm midway through the course, because I'm going to keep learning more. And you need to give time to let these experiments run when you make changes. But today we basically added more keywords. We added broad match keywords. We added headlines. I think it's basically what we did. But the 2 ways to add broad match, or to experiment with broad match, you can go on the recommendations page and just click like add keywords. It just adds a bunch more broad match keywords. That's basically what we did today. May convert some phrase and exact match to broad match. The other way to do it is do a 1-click experiment, and there's some steps that Google listed to run an experiment, which will create a second branch, a second arm of the campaign, which is an experimental branch, basically an A/B test. Well, how do you tell if these experiments are working well? Well, for the recommendations page, the 1-click recommendation, not the experiment one necessarily, there's a way to actually check. So you want to let sufficient time pass, but then we want to use this thing called search terms report, which I read about yesterday. I'm still unfamiliar with, but they say you let it run for a while and then use search terms report to see how well it did. So that's something to keep an eye on for the future. For experiments, they say to follow best practices. Okay. One other thing I forgot to say. So broad match works best with smart bidding, right? But smart bidding works best with conversion data. I'm not exactly sure what conversion data means. I'm pretty sure that means like correct conversion data, like Google's able to track your conversions correctly. I don't know how you really run a Google ad at all without having correct conversions like data set up. But hey, I guess I can see what it means. Like we had the proper value for specific sales and leads, etc. So, okay, we've got like a few more minutes. We have less than a minute. I was gonna read a little bit more, but we really don't have time today. We're probably 70% of the way, 60-70% of the way through this article. maybe more, or we've just got this. Take these steps to run good experiments. Select each card. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Huh. Oops, timer's gonna go off. Yeah, we got this little paragraph on running good experiments. Expand your reach with broad match by following these best practices. So then they got broad match best practices, which we'll read. A little question and then a summary. So we'll be able to finish up this article tomorrow. But that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.